I hate to say national championship or bust, but this is one where if you don't make a deep playoff run, I don't know when you start having the conversation about Dan Lanning. We can look back on this and go, wow, JP,
now,
you're such a genius.
You know, you'd think so, but this is the point last year where I had my best prediction of the year, where I said LSU is going to go into Death Valley and beat Clemson.
I do still believe in Ohio State. I just feel like there's still question marks, much like we had last year.
You don't mean that at all.
I can tell you don't mean that. I don't. I know I'm being a Ohio State fan right now that people just absolutely hate.
Correct.
I just can't picture a world where Ohio State has 3 losses on the year.
Someone in the production studio, mark that, and we're going to run that puppy back. This is the Rivalry Podcast, and we are so back.
I was going to say, you don't sound that excited.
Let's go. Because for months now, you've been subjected to sports headlines like LeBron James makes decision for 17th time.
Why would you say that?
Little League baseball and the demise of the U.S. men's soccer team.
But we had the World Cup in there for a little bit, and that was a fun time.
Listen, I loved it, but it was the way that the U.S. men's team went out. We're not here to talk about that. It's college football. There are no more weekends, JP. No more weekends without college football until mid-January.
It's the most beautiful thing you've ever said.
It's wonderful. This is the Rivalry Podcast from River Radio Ministries, presented by Elevated Integrity Construction. It's Michigan. It's Ohio State. It's the greatest rivalry, not just in college football, but in all of sports. My name is Jace. That's JP. Wherever you social media, so do we at Rival Pod. The redesigned, refreshed, repainted, whatevered rivalpod.com. And if you're not subscribed on YouTube or wherever you're listening right now, why not? Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, what are you even doing?
Hopefully you consider yourself a college football fan. If not, this is definitely not the podcast for you. If you do consider yourself a college football fan, whether you're affiliated with Michigan and Ohio State or not, hopefully you find something to enjoy here. But we thought like 8 years ago, what if a Michigan man and a Buckeye nut sat down and tried to have a civil conversation? And we determined that we can't.
Yeah, you were still trying to figure it out 8 seasons in.
And yet here we still are. They haven't locked us out of the studio yet. So let's do this thing. Let's jump right in with conference champions. All right. So the college football playoff, we're not going to make a bracket at this point. I think that's kind of foolish to try and predict all that. So we'll just go a step below that and try and predict our conference champions. We are recording this on, because I think timing matters, this is week 0. This is the Monday of week 0 that we're recording this.
So
this
when I'm right on every single one, we can look back on this and go, wow, JP, you're such a genius.
You know, you'd think so, but this is the point last year where I had my best prediction of the year, where I said LSU is going to go into Death Valley and beat Clemson. And then my worst prediction of the year, which was LSU is going to win the SEC.
Yeah, that ain't going to happen. And surprise, it's not going to happen this year.
So this should go well. I was going to start with the Big Ten. No, we're still going to start with the Big Ten. This is a Big Ten podcast after all. I want you. You want me to go first, or you want to go first for your conference?
I don't mind going first.
Okay, and give me some sort of reason why, though. I don't just want you to go, it's Ohio State because I picked with my gut. That's your heart, not your gut. Whatever. If you're not watching on YouTube, it doesn't matter.
It's both.
It's fine.
I'm actually going to surprise you here because I don't think Ohio State does it this year.
Okay,
and that might.
Well, they haven't made it to Indianapolis, or they haven't won in Indianapolis in what, 6 years?
Yeah,
since COVID?
This is gonna, and I think this is gonna surprise some people. This doesn't mean that I don't think that they are. See, and I'm already
just
gonna
say the thing, man.
I think they have the potential to still be the best team in the Big Ten, but right now, just the way their schedule is going to play itself out, I look at a team like Oregon and I go, "This is Dan Lanning's best team since joining the Big Ten."
Agree.
If there was ever a year for him to do it again and really make, I mean, to me, this is. I hate to say national championship or bust, but this is one where if you don't make a deep playoff run with this Oregon Ducks team, I don't know when you start having the conversation about Dan Lanning too, where you go, can this guy ever get us there?
It's weird because, and I don't know if it's because we are obviously by nature of the podcast, we are so entrenched in the rivalry where it feels different from the Ryan Day conversations.
Yeah.
I can't imagine Oregon getting rid of Dan Lanning ever. However, I do agree with you that it does feel a little bit like, well, if not now, when?
Yeah, going regular into that season, Dan Lanning's different.
Going into that 24 season for Ohio State, it was, well, if not now, when? And then the loss to Michigan happened. Now, we can go back and forth as we have on this podcast on does this make up for this thing A make up for thing B? We can get into all that, but I do feel that Oregon has some pressure on them to make a run, because if not now, then when are you going to do it?
And so for me, my pick right now is Oregon. I feel like they are the most complete team in the Big Ten, but I kind of want to caveat that slightly, because I do still believe in Ohio State. I just feel like there are still question marks, much like we had last year. And I don't want to super deep dive into this, because I'm sure we'll get to it later on. But there's still a lot of question marks for this Ohio State team. Yep. And it's the same question marks that I had last year that were answered very well. So without going too far into the weeds on that, if Ohio State is the Ohio State that I know, they are going to be right in this conversation. But right now, if I'm going off of pure gut instinct with what Ohio State's schedule looks like this year versus an Oregon, I just feel like Oregon's going to be the one that at the end of the day going to have a few less losses. They are the most complete team if they stay healthy, and it feels like a make or break year for the Ducks.
Are you taking Oregon over Ohio State in the Big Ten championship? You weren't prepared for that one.
Yes.
Yeah. You don't mean that at all. I can tell you don't mean that.
I don't.
All right, so I think a lot of what you've got there. I did do like a few extra notes, particularly for the Big Ten here, because you've got, in my mind, you've got probably 4, maybe 5 teams that actually have a shot at winning the Big Ten, right? I think Oregon is obviously one of them, because a very the roster, but very manageable Big Ten schedule, and schedule will be a huge factor, by the way, in a lot of these, because Oregon's schedule is home games against Washington and Michigan, and road games at USC and at Ohio State, as far as their big games go. I'm not saying that's easy, but I'm saying that's a very manageable schedule compared to what Ohio State is looking at. Ohio State has a gauntlet.
Yeah.
Ohio State and Michigan both have a gauntlet. Ohio State hosts Oregon, hosts Michigan, goes at Indiana, at USC, at Iowa, and that's not including non-conference at Texas. Michigan, gauntlet of a Big Ten schedule. They host Iowa. They host Penn State. They host Indiana. They're at Oregon. They're at Ohio State. That ain't a great schedule for anybody, okay?
Yeah.
So I will just say up front then, I don't think Michigan or Ohio State make the Big Ten championship.
You don't think they even make it?
I don't think they make it. Oregon I've got in there. USC is an interesting case. Jaden Mayava coming back. They've got a lot of returning firepower. 3 of their 4 toughest games are at home. Home against Oregon, Washington, and Ohio State, and a trip out to Indiana. But it's the trip to Indiana that
I smell 3 losses on that.
Really? See, I'm not willing to go into that yet, but I do think that Indiana is not only going to make the Big Ten championship, I think they go back to back. Indiana's got a very manageable schedule. Home against Ohio State and USC. Their road games at Michigan, at Washington. That's very manageable. Mm-hmm. And that's not fair. To mention that Indiana is just a darn good football team. These are, yes, I know that there's turnover with Mendoza, but you got Josh Hoover coming in, you got Turbo Richard coming in. Like Nick Marsh coming in. This is a really good football team. And so, yeah, I'm going to take Indiana over Oregon in the Big Ten championship. We're not going to go into the playoff. Well, does Indiana repeat the whole thing? We ain't doing that yet. I need more information before we do that. But I have enough information to tell you that Indiana, with a really good roster and a really favorable schedule, I have no problem seeing them go back to back in the Big Ten.
I think that's valid.
Let's go to the other big dog here, the SEC. Have you heard of it?
I thought you were going Pac-12 here. But.
No. The SEC, rumor has it just means more, but the last 3 national champions have come out of the Big Ten.
Otherwise.
So, okay. Now that we're all paying our players, it's amazing that suddenly
even the playing field gets.
Suddenly the parity is quite interesting. You want go ahead, go first on this one. Give me your SEC champion and tell me who they're going to beat, if you would, as well.
See, and I wasn't prepared to do matchups, I can.
At least give me the champion and give me why you want to go with that champion.
For sure. This is another conference where if the question I have about it gets answered the right way, my answer changes.
Well, yeah, that's the nature
where I'm
of
going
predictions.
Where I'm going, okay, my biggest question mark is just how good can Arch Manning actually be, and how good can this Texas team really be? Because last year I kind of thought I picked them last year to win the SEC.
Well, I mean, it was Texas or Penn State for the national championship. I mean, those were the two
front runners. And so I'm looking at them this year going, okay, you're sixth in the nation right now, or fifth in the nation right now to start the year. Arch, towards the back half of last season, started to really showcase kind of his talent and the stuff that he could do, which we already knew was there. You get an elite wide receiver transfer in Cam Coleman.
Yep.
It feels like they are right there, and they should be. I know Georgia with Gunnar Stockton coming back. I know Georgia is a heavy favorite for this, but I'm actually going Ole Miss. I know despite Lane Kiffin leaving, I'm picking Ole Miss. I think Trinidad Chambliss, he's going to be one of those guys that's in the Heisman. But to me, their offense is just so explosive. I still feel like their defense can be right there to keep them in it. I don't fully trust Texas yet. And there's just something about Georgia. I know people love Gunnar Stockton. I know Kirby Smart, obviously a phenomenal head coach. There's just something about them ever since Carson Beck left that just doesn't feel the same. And so for me, I have a hard time picking either of them to win it. I think you'll see an Ole Miss versus Georgia SEC championship game. I think this is where Trinidad and Kawan Lacey end up doing their thing. The offense just proves to be too much. And it wouldn't surprise me if Trinidad ended up holding the Heisman at the end of the year.
I don't dislike that. I dislike the pick, but I don't dislike the Trinidad Chambliss for Heisman campaign.
I think 100%.
By the way, week 3. I feel like week 3 usually is like, oh, there's a bunch of like low level games. I think Michigan plays UTEP or something.
That's a big game. What are you talking about?
LSU at Ole Miss, week 3. Circle your calendars for the Lane train coming back to Oxford.
Mm-hmm.
No, it ain't Ole Miss. I can tell you that right now. Ole Miss has got LSU, Georgia, at Texas, and at Oklahoma on that schedule. I'm sorry, they ain't gonna come through that. I hate this. I mean, I'm gonna take Georgia. I feel like Georgia is the clear front runner. But it's correct because one, they've got a great. It's the same as Indiana for preseason. Preseason rankings don't matter. What I care about is I want to know, what does your schedule look like? And again, you can say, well, that factors in the preseason. I'm trying to compare rosters to rosters and schedules to schedules, and Georgia has the clearest path to me. Georgia hosts Oklahoma, goes to Alabama and to Ole Miss. That's their schedule. Those are the tough games on their schedule. For the SEC or the Big Ten in particular, yeah, where do I sign? Right away. There's no other team that has as clear of a path to me as Georgia does.
This isn't a question about who gets to go to the game because, yeah, the schedule matters. This is about who is going to win it.
And I think Georgia.
Georgia might have the easiest path, but that doesn't mean they're walking away with the trophy. Who is the best team?
I think it's Georgia, and I'll tell you why. I take them over Texas. I do think Texas makes it, but I am not as high on Texas as some people are.
Yeah, I'm just not there yet. I think they could be.
You want to know the other team that this is not even part of the bit, but you want to know
Texas A&M.
The other team that I'm not, agree, but the other team I'm not big on, LSU.
Yeah.
Same. Listen, I know that this is what I did last year in the opposite direction. Everybody and their mom is like LSU to the playoff, LSU to the playoff. Lane Kiffin's might not win the conference, but to the playoff. I'm looking at LSU going, yeah, I don't think so.
On my
have you seen that schedule is brutal?
On my drive in this morning, I saw I heard a piece of audio or whatever of somebody trying to get people hyped up for college football this weekend, and they took a clip of Pat McAfee, I think, talking about LSU. It was at a college game day, and he said, you want to see something? Have you ever been to an American football game? Have you ever been to Death Valley? Blah, blah, and it was trying to hype you up, and I thought, why are we making LSU like the pinnacle of college football now?
Right.
They get like 3 to 4 losses every year, and they've underperformed since Joe Burrow left. Why are we hyping them up as like Death Valley is no longer that scary to me?
I don't buy it. And also like the whole Lane Kiffin saga, I feel like there's so much drama around that. It's that meme that goes around of I think it's from VeggieTales. The what you've done has made God very unhappy. Yeah, LSU ain't gonna be it.
No.
Let's go to the ACC. This one feels to me.
If we differ on this, I will be shook.
Let's cut to the chase here. Let's say it 3, 2, 1. Miami. Thank you. We don't even have to go into it because there's the ACC.
Have you heard of Malachi Tony?
Much like the Big 12. I mean, you could probably roll the dice for whoever they're going to play, but Miami again. The talent level and the schedule. You want to know Miami's 2 toughest games? It's Florida State and at Clemson. Dub. Give me Miami. Miami's also, again, I may remind you, Miami also made the national championship game last year. Who did they play in the first round? Second round.
No. You asked first round. You asked first round.
Dang it.
You asked first round.
How quick we forget.
No, I agree. I think Miami is the obvious choice here. You got Malachi Tony. They return Mark Fletcher Jr., super underrated running back in my mind. And then they lost Carson Beck, but then they bring in Darian Mensah from Duke in the transfer portal, which is a underrated in my mind. Underrated.
See, I'm not a huge Mensah believer, but I think with what he's got around him,
that's what I think.
It's almost a completely different styles, but it's almost 2021 Cade McNamara. Completely different styles, but it's I don't need you to be great, bro. I just need you to
but I think he
manage the game with the talent around you.
I think he was good at Duke. I look at it more of a Will Howard, Ohio State
Duke,
situation.
Defending ACC champion Duke.
Yeah, where I look at it and I go, this is a really skilled quarterback that, sure, he's not going to be in some Heisman race, but he's not going to lose you games. You can rely on him. He's a veteran. He can come in there and be the leader that you want.
That's fair.
And it is one of those things where you've got phenomenal talent around him that's going to make his life easier. To me, the comparison's much more like a Will Howard, where it doesn't necessarily work out in this program, but if you put him in one of these elite programs, then all of a sudden things can change. So for me, it's Miami. It would be stunning to me
if it were anybody else.
If it were anybody else. And also, hot take, I know we didn't talk about this. I think it's Dabo's last season. I know I said it last year.
You said that last year.
I said it last year.
You sent him to Alabama last year, if I remember right.
Honestly, it was real close to happening, I feel like.
Was it?
It was.
Okay, so my other question was, is Clemson back? The answer is no.
No,
okay,
no, they are in the pits of the pits.
I took SMU, by the way, to lose to Miami. Shout out Southern Methodist, I guess. The Big 12, the last of the Power Four, because I'm sorry, the Pac-12 or the Pac-15
I have
or whatever.
A winner for them.
They're not. They are considered a group of 6.
I have a winner of them.
Big 12. Hot take. I'll go first on this one. It ain't Texas Tech.
Yeah, same.
BYU?
Yeah.
Here's why. Again, what you've done has made God very unhappy. The Brendan Sorsby thing, we don't even have to go into. The Lord is not going to honor that. I'm sorry. That's not going to happen.
From Prophet Jace.
Who's the quarterback that they're trying to grab now?
I forget who they said. They're
trying to grab some 5th-year eligible something or other, right?
Yeah, I forget who it is.
Now I got to look it up.
It's not going to matter. It's one of those things where, as I was trying to kind of look into, okay, I knew Sorsby's not playing this year. What other talent do they have? And yeah, they've got some players. The defensive side of the ball is still going to be solid. I just feel like that's the most important position in college football, not even just college football.
So
and without him, I just don't trust you in big games.
So Will Hammond is currently the starting quarterback. He was their starter, but then suffered like the ACL tear and all that. Tommy Castellanos is the guy that they're trying to go
they're trash.
Which by the way, I liked Castellanos. That was good. But there's no way. I understand that they've got these returners, and they've got all the money coming in. I don't buy Texas Tech this season. Texas Tech feels a lot like LSU to me, where it's hype, money, drama, and I'm out.
See, if Sorsby was there, I think this would have been as clear of a favorite to me as Miami.
I don't disagree with that.
As Miami. Without him, it's just too important of a position to have question marks.
And listen, take it from Michigan. There are too many off-field things going on here for you to have success. Okay?
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got BYU, again, talent and a favorable schedule. Their 2 toughest games, Arizona at home and the Holy War. They've got Bear Bachmeier coming back. I don't think BYU's going to make a deep playoff run or anything.
Whoever wins, that's knocked out first round.
But they were right there last year, except for a couple losses to Texas Tech, who they avoid in the regular season. I think they beat them in the Big 12 championship. Because again, it's not that Texas Tech is bad. I just don't think that it's near the hype. here's where it gets, okay, you said, first of all, you have a Pac-12 champion. Mm-hmm. I did not pick the Pac-12 because I forgot they existed. I just took it.
Honestly.
I just took a group of 6 playoff team. But you give me your Pac-12 because I guess this would be your G6.
Yeah, I've got Boise.
Okay.
And I would just be stunned if it was anybody different.
Boise feels like the obvious choice here.
Yes.
I mean, they've got Madsden back, right? Mm-hmm. They've got,
and they've been just recruiting decent. So, like, in comparison to everybody else in the Pac-12,
for sure,
there's just, they are the A tier level, and that everybody's like the next best is a C.
Ever since Boise upset Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl, I feel like Boise has kind of been the not so dark horse.
Yes.
For people. And obviously, they made the playoffs a couple years ago with Ashton Genty. They don't have him, but this is still a good football team. Again, talent and schedule. They're tough games. Memphis, San Diego State, at Oregon. Mm-hmm. The at Oregon game,
and
obviously,
Oregon's week 1, right?
It's not this week for week 2, but it's week 1. Yeah, they'll get smacked by Oregon.
Oh yeah,
but they can still.
It'll have me rethinking this decision a little bit.
They'll still get in because, again, as a reminder, it is the Power 4 conference champs, the highest ranked group of 6 team, not necessarily conference champion.
Yep.
And then the next 7 highest ranked teams and Notre Dame. Because why not?
Too afraid.
This is going to shock. This is my shocking prediction here because I have not seen a lot of talk about this team.
Who did you say last year? UNLV?
Last year? Okay, so interestingly, UNLV is a team that I hear a lot of chatter about. I hear a lot of chatter about Boise. I hear a lot of chatter about UNLV. By the way, I've heard.
What message boards are you on where they're talking UNLV football?
Listen to this. More than one person has mentioned, shout out our boys at Meep Meep Nation, UTSA.
UTSA, I have heard. I have
not gone with any of those. Give me New Mexico out of the Mountain West.
No.
Jason Eck has done a phenomenal job with that program. I think New Mexico, Jack Lane, back again as a quarterback.
He was atrocious.
He was not atrocious. Michigan got a little taste of New Mexico, and I did not care for it.
Yeah, well, Michigan was a terrible team.
New Mexico's got a pretty favorable schedule. They've got some tough games in there. Again, within the group of 6, they've got some difficult games. They do have to play UNLV, who is one of the front runners for that G6 spot. They go out of conference at Oklahoma. That'll tell me a lot.
It's going to be a terrible watch, but I will watch.
You want to know who I almost went with here? I wanted to go so badly with the boys from the Fargo Dome. I wanted North Dakota State. I think it will happen.
I think it will.
I couldn't bring myself to do it.
I think it will. Not this year.
They're on New Mexico schedule as well.
Yeah, it'll happen in the next couple of years, not this year.
Now, all that being said, will New Mexico be the team? I don't know. Will it probably be Boise? No. Most likely,
yes.
But if New Mexico does it, you heard it on the Rivalry podcast first, and you have to subscribe. Them's the rules. Now, there is a chance here that you feel a little bit like Pat Fitzgerald in Michigan State. Mm. Did we miss this bit?
I did. And honestly, I've erased him so far from my mind.
It's amazing.
That I forgot he was even their head coach for a second.
Yep. I did it.
And hopefully he does at night or else he won't be able to sleep.
There's a chance you feel like Pat Fitzgerald in Michigan State. You are trying to build like a champion and you do not know how to do it because you don't have Nick Marsh anymore. Mm-hmm. You've got Alex Maleficent or whatever his name is. Elevated Integrity Construction has a winning pedigree and a team of all-Americans. They're a juggernaut of the industry with a trophy case full of satisfied families just like yours. Your home, church, or business build, go with the folks with integrity in their name. ElevatedIntegrity.com. They have been presenting sponsor for the Rivalry for years and years now, thanks to Aaron Carroll and his team. By the way, back again this year, our good friends over at Homage. Mm-hmm. It's time to take your fandom to the next level. Proud affiliate partners with our friends at Homage, a second-to-none sports apparel brand based right here in Columbus. Since 2007, they've helped fans like you pay homage to the people, places, teams, and moments that matter most to you. Quality craftsmanship, elite storytelling, and that trademarked legendary comfort. You go to rivalpod.com. You can also click the link in the description below if you're watching on YouTube, and you can get yourself some some Homage merch through the Rivalry. It supports the Rivalry, supports Homage, gets yourself some new game day stuff as well. We're also super pumped because wherever you're listening right now, thank you. Listen, subscribe, share with a friend. We are proud members of the Varsity Network again this season, powered by the folks over at Learfield. Varsity Network is the must-have app If you call yourself a college football fan, which hopefully you do. If you don't, I don't know why you're here. Then you probably are.
You probably are.
You can listen to the Rivalry right there in the app, plus live broadcasts of college football games and on-demand podcasts just like this one. Find the Varsity Network in your app store. And again, social media at RivalPod, rivalpod.com. We've got a new blog article section this year called the Read Option. Do you get it? Because a read option is a play.
He thought he was so clever.
But also, it's the option to go read the read option.
You have to explain the joke, and no longer is good.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to make sure it was clear. Also, if you want to support the podcast, you can do it there too. By the way, we both texted clearly before the show today.
One of us is going to have to change.
The Rivalry Podcast shirts available for sale. Again, rivalpod.com, which you probably already knew at this point. Can we talk real quick about stuff we hate in college football?
Please, I've been waiting all day for this.
By the way, if you're waiting for like, when are you guys going to get to Michigan, Ohio State? You're the Rivalry Podcast. That's probably my dad saying it that way. We'll get to it, okay? They don't even play this week. We'll get to them. But I'm not talking about like, hey, I actually hate this thing. We all hate NIL, okay? I get it. We all hate that. That's fine. I'm talking about like innocuous college football stuff that you hate. Mm-hmm. Like, let me give you an example. When a cornerback or a safety or whatever, right, is covering a guy and they're on him and the receiver has the ball in his hands and just drops it. But the cornerback happened to be there and he does the lockdown celebration. It's like, you don't get to do the lockdown. I see this every single week. You don't get to do a lockdown celebration when the receiver dropped the ball because you left him open. It
is simultaneously one of the things I hate the most and also love the most because it's so funny to me every single time that they think like, I saw this and it makes me feel bad saying it. Davison Igbinosun was just the biggest proponent of using that move all the time. Also very big on holding people. And so every time I see a cornerback or a safety that's in coverage and they are clearly holding, like it is clearly going to be a penalty. You see the yellow flag go flying and then you see them do like the arms across or they do the seatbelt looking thing, the lockdown stuff. And then they don't see the penalty flag yet. And you're like, oh, brother, you're going to be very upset here in 2 seconds.
I need to know, did anybody else always think that they were like putting away a sword?
I thought that's what it was for the longest time.
Great.
Honestly, it's significantly better than a seatbelt or something.
Yeah, I agree with you. Okay. Do you have like, I've got a couple more, but do you have any other like innocuous, like, I hate this about college football? Is it just me? Is this just an area of the grievances?
No. I think for me, it's stuff that's relatively new, and we can dive into this a little bit, but this is something that actually is happening in the NFL. I've seen it a lot. The Browns actually just waived a guy so that he could go and then enter the transfer portal. Yeah. And he had a new agreement with LSU. He's a tight end.
What you've done has made God very unhappy.
He's a tight end. And somebody said, yeah, you know how this whole going pro thing? Yeah, I think I'll actually just go back to school because that is how bad NIL has gotten.
Daquan Wright.
Yes, he is coming out now and he was catching passes on Saturday prior to their preseason game. He's on the field in uniform, catching passes, doing warm-ups, while he is already actively in the transfer portal. It just
doesn't make sense.
That is something that just feels broken. That to me is an incredibly easy fix. But I think for the integrity of college football, you've got to nail that down now. Like that,
I agree with that.
This year,
that's not innocuous. That's real. Like,
yeah, what are we doing? It's got to be changed, and that's all there is.
Let me go back to a more lighthearted one for a moment. Calling yourself whatever nation. Stop doing it. Buckeye Nation, stop. You are not
stop that.
You are not a governing
Nation,
entity.
How dare you?
Okay, Meep Nation. I'm sorry, guys. No, I got to stand up for my principles here.
You're just mad because there's no cool way to say it about the Wolverine.
Wolverine Nation?
No, it's terrible. Sounds horrible. Sounds horrible.
It sounds terrible
you didn't even like saying that.
Scarlet Knight Nation, stop.
First off, how dare you?
Stop.
We have done nothing to you except save your entire franchise.
And again, as I've said before, we got the Arkansas helmet here. my in-laws, my wife from
Razorback
Arkansas.
Nation is sick.
Hog Nation.
Hog Nation is sick. How dare you disrespect that?
Okay.
Hog Nation is an S tier name.
It's an S.
It is an S tier name, and I will not allow slander.
I'm going to get text from my
Before
brother-in-law
week
about
zero,
this.
I will not allow week 0 slander against Arkansas.
Miles, if you're watching, I'm so sorry.
Happening.
The last one that I have is directed at Ohio State fans. People hating on noon kickoff. Noon kickoff is the time I want my team to kick off.
Oh, personally, yes.
Yeah, like the whole we need more primetime games. I'm like, as someone who has now watched Michigan open the season at night against Fresno State, New Mexico, who's going to be really good this year,
Sure.
and now Western Michigan. No, kick those games off at noon. Stop complaining about it.
That is where I would slightly disagree with you, because to me, there's something different about a good, really nice matchup game under the lights. Having been to Ohio State, my first ever Ohio State game was a couple of years ago with you against Wisconsin under the lights. That was when Wisconsin was really highly ranked at the time and got
Didn't
absolutely
look like it.
No, they got blown completely to smithereens. Then I went to the Tennessee home game. We went to the Notre Dame Ohio State game under the lights.
I'm not saying it's not
there's
cool.
There's something that for my nerves and anxiety, absolutely I would love to not stress about it all day.
That thing off at 9 a.m. I'm ready.
I am sick and tired of watching the games like Ohio State versus Kent State. Who was it that they played last year under Ohio under the lights? But they played another one, I feel like earlier in the year as well under the lights. That was like Western Kentucky or something like that. I'm sick of going and watching those games under the lights because they're over before the kickoff really even happens, to be honest. Yeah. I want to go back to the days where I would look at the schedule and I would go, oh, Ohio State, the only one that's untouchable is Michigan.
Correct.
That's got to be a noon. That's got to be a noon kick. But I'm tired of going in this season alone. You've got Ohio State welcoming Oregon. I don't think they've listed the time for that.
They have not.
To me, that is a prime, let's do this thing. Let's do a night game at the Shoe. Let's go.
I don't mind that, but I hate the any time that it's a noon kick. I hear people complain about it. And so Michigan, Oklahoma, is there a part of me that wants it to be? I suppose there's a part of me that would like it. Again, we'll be up there. You can follow along, whatever, for the journey. There's a part of me that's like, oh, that'd be super dope. There's another part of me that goes, can we please kick this off at noon? But either way, I'm not complaining about it. And I'm tired of hearing Ohio State fans do it.
Oh, see, I feel like the only reason I hear Ohio State fans do it is because it took so long for us to have a meaningful night game. And you got a chance to see just how cool of an atmosphere Ohio Stadium can truly be. The Horseshoe is a crazy different place at night. And that Tennessee playoff game a couple of years ago showcased it.
Well, here's the good news. You're going to get a lot of night games. They're just going to all be on the road.
That's fair. You know what? Valid.
Let's do this now. Okay. For everyone who skipped ahead to try and get to, hopefully we put little chapters in the podcast description and whatever, but let's talk schedule. And here's what I want us to do. We're going to go rapid fire. You can give a comment on a team. Okay. But I want to walk through Ohio State, see what the record looks like going into the game. We're not going to pick Ohio State, Michigan. Number one, those picks should be fairly obvious at this point. If you're still confused, I'm not sure I can help you. But let's go through Ohio State's, then we'll go through Michigan's. And let's just, again, a couple comments. That's fine. I just want to know what the record is going into the game.
Okay.
Ball State at
win.
Ohio State.
A win.
It's a dub. At Texas.
I have a loss.
I do as well.
I think Texas is a really good program. I think it being a night game on the road, I think the environment gets to them. I think with all the starters on defense that Ohio State has to replace, I feel like Arch Manning's going to be a better version of what he was than what he was last year in the game. I think Ohio State's defense is going to get there to where they're very good, but this is so early on in the season that there's still going to be a little bit of that learning curve that's evident. I think they drop that one.
I will say, to be devil's advocate, although I am taking Texas in this one. Number one, I've already said, I think Texas is good. I don't think they're national championship caliber. And I would also play devil's advocate and say, this is kind of the conversation we had last year about Ohio State and Texas as well, is I don't know if Ohio State's tested enough. And unfortunately for me, They proved out, yeah, we can handle it. But I agree with you. I think that's a tough ask. How about Kent State?
Kent State's a win.
For Kent State or
for Ohio State?
Hey, that one's a noon kick. Are we upset about that one?
Yes.
All right.
Night game or not.
2-1, welcoming in Illinois.
That's a win.
I agree. I don't think that game will be.
No.
Even with Luke Altmaier last year, it wasn't particularly close.
No.
So I've got him at 3-1. And then you're not quite at the most difficult stretch yet somehow.
There's a stretch that I'm not pumped about.
But at Iowa, and I can almost guarantee you that will be a night kick.
You know what? I hope it is.
It might not. It might be big noon
for the vibes of it. I have a win, but I want to preface that it's going to be an ugly one. There are 2 games on this schedule that I think Ohio State ends up getting a win out of.
That are just ugly.
That are just ugly, and you're gonna walk away from it with a lot of question marks on this team. And that's the first one.
I think that is a fantastic pick and a fantastic reason. I would take Iowa doesn't have a quarterback. Things you could have copied and pasted over the last 25 years. Shout out Jake Rudock. Sorry. Jake Rudock, Michigan great. I agree. I think Ohio. Listen, I'd love for Iowa to beat them. I just don't.
Because of Iowa's defense, it will be, I don't want to say a nail biter. I don't think it comes down to like a last second field goal. I think Ohio State still wins by 10, maybe 13. But I think it's ugly well into the fourth quarter.
Also, they had Indiana on the ropes last year too. So, I agree with you. Maryland.
A dub.
Yep. We don't even have to talk about it. Yes, I know that we all love Malik Williams, you especially. It ain't gonna matter. This is a 5-1 team at this point. 5-1? Yeah, 5-1. Then you get your stretch. This is the 3-game stretch.
This is where I don't want anybody to talk to me. I don't want anybody to make eye contact with me.
Done.
I don't.
At Indiana.
I know what you have for this. I have a win. Yeah. I have a win. I think Ohio State gets the revenge that they wanted. I feel like by this point in the season, we're going to know what this defense looks like. And if it's as good as I feel like they can be, I feel like the offensive power that Ohio State has is going to be too much for what Indiana. I think this is a close game. I'm not saying Ohio State goes in there and just absolutely demolishes this team. I think you're looking at a 10 or less point game. Easy. Okay. It is going to be a hard-fought game. I just think at the end of the day, Ohio State's defense is going to make plays when it needs to.
So you would have them at 6-1 after this Indiana game.
Yes.
Then. Yeah. I would take Indiana in this game. It's going to be fun. It's going to be not if you have a rooting interest, but it's going to be fun for the rest of us. Like, get them. Yeah. That's
how you root for football.
Sometimes if I have to,
we
when I have to,
very differently.
You get a bye week and then you go to USC. So again, you get at Indiana, at USC, and then Oregon coming up here in a minute. But at USC,
I have a win over the bye week because my nerves will need it. USC is game number 2 where I feel like Ohio State pulls this one out, but it's going to be ugly. And you're going to walk away with a lot of question marks on this defense where you're wondering, okay, we saw flashes of it where they were decent against Iowa. They were good against Indiana. I don't think they look bad against Texas. I still think that's even a close game. But you go, are they that good? Mm-hmm. Because I think USC's high-powered offense is going to expose pieces of that. I'm mostly looking at the linebacker position here for Ohio State, where I'm going, you lost a lot of key contributors. That I'm curious what that's going to look like. I think this is a game Ohio State pulls out, but I think that to me, have they announced that that's a night game? I thought they did. That to me reads night game all over it. I think because of the time difference, they're going to come out a little bit sluggish. I think USC's going to be. The offense is what we all think it is. It's going to be really good. They are who
we thought they were.
Yeah, they are who we thought they were.
It's Halloween.
It's Halloween. It's Halloween.
It's going to be spooky,
and the offense is going to be scary.
Yep, I think USC wins that game. I really do. Yeah, that would be a third loss. I'll take it. Oregon. In case you thought the schedule would light up a little bit, no, Oregon.
Yeah, I have a loss here for the simple reason it seems like every time Ohio State plays them in the regular season, we don't win. And I've said it at the beginning of this podcast, Oregon's got the most complete roster in the Big Ten, in my opinion. I feel like this is another one that this could be the game where Ohio State loses by double digits.
Oh, say it again.
And it wouldn't totally surprise me. there's something about that game in particular that I can't walk away from it going, I feel with how Ohio State's schedule lays out, that just feels like of all the games we've mentioned prior, the clearest one where they drop.
I actually have Ohio State winning that game.
That would be crazy. I would love it.
No, again, I should preface this. When we go through the games week by week, we are almost certainly not going to keep whatever these predictions were.
Yeah.
We are going
for Ball State and Kent State. I feel pretty secure.
Okay, I take it back. Some of them will definitely be kept, but this is meant to be just kind of rapid fire, gut reaction in the moment type stuff. I don't know. I feel like I can't see. Let me put it this way: I can't see Ohio State coming losing 4 games before they play Michigan. That's just not going to happen. I hope it does. Mm-hmm. I just don't see that. So I got to give them a win somewhere. I'll give it Oregon. Northwestern, that should be pretty clear.
That's a win.
Ryan Day didn't even recruit his own kid.
Well,
he's not at Northwestern yet, to be clear, but just thought I'd throw that out there. At Nebraska.
I hear weirdly people starting to get kind of high on this Nebraska team.
Stop.
And I don't understand it.
I don't
Ohio
either.
State wins this one, clear as day.
I agree.
Leading up to the game. I do want to say one thing really about this Ohio State team, just because I feel like me marking down that they've got 2 losses.
Yeah, you have them
going
at 9.
into this
I would
game.
have them at 8-3 right now. You'd have them at 9-2.
I have them at 9-2. Here's the thing that is helping me leading into the season, because last year you had question marks with Julian Sayin, you had question marks with your running back room, you had question marks with the defensive side of the ball, you had brand new coaches coming in that you were kind of thrown up in the air on what is this going to look like. And you obviously were proven that was one of the best teams in college football last year, if not the second best defense in all of that. I would put Indiana probably above that. I might even throw Miami in there, to be honest. But you had a top 3 defense. Your offense was up there. Here's the thing. When I start to kind of question these Ohio State teams where it feels like there are big gaps and there are these big questions. On the offensive side of the ball, you've got talent across the board. I don't question what this offense can do. The defensive side of things, here's where I'm starting to kind of lean into. I trust Matt Patricia.
As a Lions fan, I can tell you that I will never be able to do that.
Last year, I thought he was able to make guys that really weren't household names. I mean, you had your obvious guys like Sonny Styles, Caleb Downs, and guys like that. But you were able to get guys like Arvell Reese and fully unlock that potential.
Who I was going to say, yeah.
And so I trust what they've got. Even guys like Caden Curry, who I was very high on last year and who's had a great preseason in the NFL. I look at this defense and I go, yes, but let's not forget that there's still some dudes on that roster. Mm-hmm. Ohio State is an elite recruiting team. They are also very good and very niche when it comes to the transfer portal. And there are some guys that people have just forgot about in the transfer portal. Earl Little being one of those guys. Trey Moore is another guy, the cornerback coming over from Duke. They've got talent across the board. They have a really talented secondary in Devin Sanchez, Jermaine Matthews. The safeties are good. The defensive line is still solid. The linebackers are, I think, where you're going to see the most growth, because you're going to have to. You lost guys like Sonny Styles. You lost guys that sometimes would play off of that, like an Arvell Reese. You got guys like Peyton Pierce now that are going to have to step up. He was just named a captain. But on the offensive side, you got a veteran O-line. You still have Jeremiah Smith. You've got Bo Jackson. You have guys that I think are going to be young but still make a splash in Chris Henry Jr. You still have reliable, and I know you're going to make fun of this, but you still have guys like Brandon Ennis that he's not going to be the comparison of what a Carnell Tate was. He won't even come close to that.
Brandon Ennis might not even be starting by the end of the year, brother.
I think he will. But this is still a talented roster across the board. And if there's one thing that I trust is I have learned to start to trust Ryan Day when it comes to these things. And this is probably the biggest question mark, and I don't know if you would disagree with me on this or not. You might actually be surprised I'm going to say it. When it comes to Ohio State, my biggest question mark is the pacing. We've seen it the past several years. I think the way that Ohio State can win a natty, the way that they can win the Big Ten, is by loosening the reins a little bit. You've heard over the past couple of seasons, Ryan Day talking about, we're about efficiency. And you get in these games where the entire game, Ohio State might have 6 to 7 possessions total, maybe. And yeah, they score 5 of them. But against these better teams where you're not necessarily scoring every single drive because you're not playing Ball State and Kent State. You need to give your offense the chance to go out there and make more explosive plays. And so for me, for this Ohio State team to change my mind against teams like Texas, to change my mind against teams like Oregon, to win a Big Ten championship, I need to see Arthur Smith kind of let it loose a little bit. I don't really feel like they need to play it safe. I kind of want to see them turn into that gunslinger offense and go, we don't necessarily have the defense we had last year. We've got a pretty good defense, but we're going to just go out there and flat out outscore you.
One of the things that I think would be concerning if I were an Ohio State fan is I think that's part and parcel with it is red zone efficiency. This has been a huge issue. For Ohio State's offenses, play calling and execution. And on top of that, last year in particular, Ryan Day kept talking about, we can turn it up when we need to. We can turn it up when we need to. We can turn it up when we need to. They never turned it up. Mm-hmm. And that's not to say that the offense wasn't good. It was. But look at the Indiana game. Look at the Miami game. There was no turning it up when we need to. Mm-hmm. It was, this is the pace that we have.
And I think there's bigger stuff behind that. And we talked about it. You can go rewatch the old videos and stuff on YouTube at Rival Pod, because I think some of that had to do with Brian Hartline and him like being kind of on the outskirts of already leaving. But I still think your point stands with the pacing of it. That has been Ryan Day's MO the past several years, is you have all these Lamborghinis in the garage and you're driving them at 35.
Yeah.
And at some point you've got to go, you know what? We're going to go old school Big 12 on you, and our defense is going to give up 20 a game, but we're going to score 45 plus every single game because we can.
Until you run into a brick wall of a defense like Indiana or Michigan or whoever it might be.
But I think that's where, when you get into those, you're not going to obviously be scoring 45 against a really great defense. But when you get into the pacing that Ohio State has had, and you get into these games that can stop you and get you into 3-and-outs and quick drives, you've got to give yourself a chance to get the ball in the hands of your playmakers, the people that can win you the games. Yeah. I don't know if defensively you're looking at an Ohio State team that has an elite defense this year. I think you're looking at an Ohio State defense that is very good. Yeah. And they're not going to lose you games, but you're going to need Ohio State's offense to go out there and score points. You're not going to be able to rely on. You're not going to be able to walk into USC, Iowa, and
Iowa.
Maybe
listen,
Iowa.
I could walk into Iowa.
Whatever you're going to say is false. Ohio State can't walk in there and score 20 and expect to win that game.
See, I disagree with that.
Ooh, I don't. I think this Iowa defense has gotten better, or offense has gotten better.
All right, enough about that. Let's talk about Michigan. Let's run through this Michigan schedule, because again, I feel like Ohio State, and rightfully so, has gotten a lot. We mentioned this earlier, has gotten a lot of attention for the gauntlet of a schedule that they have, because they do. I feel like Michigan has kind of flown under the radar, being like, we basically play the same thing. It's not great. It's not great. Western Michigan to open the season. This was supposed to be the game in Germany, and now it's not.
And then they said no.
They said, why would we do that?
We simply will not.
This is a win for Michigan. Here's what I'll say. We'll preview next week. This game will be uncomfortable for the first quarter and a half. Western Michigan.
Because you're in the wrong seat, or
Western Michigan is probably going to win the MAC. Now again, Michigan's not going to lose this game, but this game has enough to be uncomfortable for a little bit. But I think Michigan's going to win this game by
Michigan's Western Michigan doesn't have a chance to me.
Oklahoma in week 2. By the way, most of these games are at home. Michigan plays between now and Halloween night one road game. It'll be at Minnesota, which they will win.
Spoiler alert.
Oklahoma in week 2. This is a massive defining game. Michigan hosted Texas 2 years ago. That game really told you how that season was going to go. Michigan went to Norman last year. Really gave you a good look at how that season was going to go. This will give you a good look at how the season's going to go. And I know some of the national analysts are saying that this could determine a final playoff spot even at the end of the year. Michigan, Oklahoma. What do you got?
I have a loss.
For Michigan?
For Michigan.
I don't.
That is
I think,
not even the dumbest thing you've said on this podcast today.
Obviously not. We've been doing this for 8 years. There's been a lot. That would be LSU winning the SEC.
I meant this particular episode.
Oh, well, this game could obviously go either way, but I've got faith in Michigan. I've got faith in. Here's what will be fascinating. It'll be fascinating to see Michigan and Oklahoma in their tune-up games. Michigan against Western. Oklahoma actually plays UTEP, who Michigan will have the week after. It'll be, I want to watch Bryce Underwood. I want to watch John Mateer. I want to see what those guys look like. And that's obviously why we'll pick it that week. Right now, though, I would lean Michigan. I think Michigan can disrupt John Mateer.
It's hard for me in a big game to pick Michigan right now without seeing the development of Bryce.
And I understand that.
I think my reasoning is I know you already said this in a bigger scale of things. Yeah. This will tell you a lot about this Michigan team going forward. This will tell you a lot about the growth of Bryce Underwood from year 1 to year 2. 1000%. If he comes out and looks good in this, a lot of my answers moving forward change.
Oh, 100%. And that's part of why it showed so much last year when it was, we're afraid to let him make a mistake.
Yeah.
Well, would letting him loose would you have still lost the game? Probably. But we'll never know because you kept the kitty gloves on him the whole game, didn't let him do anything. Mm-hmm. Also, Brett Venables knows how to call defense. That gets a lot more difficult when you're on the road. UTEP.
It's a win.
Okay, great. We're going to move on. I didn't even know that was a school still. Michigan hosts Iowa in week 4. I would take Michigan. Again, I just don't. Iowa's got a good defense. Iowa doesn't have a good offense.
I have a loss for Michigan in this one.
Okay.
Because of what you said. And like I'm basing this off of, I am not all of a sudden buying stock in Bryce Underwood without seeing it in game.
I'm not asking you to buy stock. I'm asking you to say, can Michigan beat an offenseless Iowa at home?
I don't think they're offenseless. I think they're
offensive.
They were better last year. Okay. This is a game where it feels like Michigan every single season has one of those sloppy games where it's just turnover city. I think of Northwestern last year. They had zero business winning that game.
I don't believe that game actually happened.
I've tried many therapy sessions.
Quite frankly.
But that feels like what this Iowa game is. So the defense is elite. I think they're going to force some havoc with Bryce. They're going to force a handful of turnovers, and the offense is good enough to punch it in.
So you would have Michigan at 2-2. I've got them at 4-0 here. Okay, we gotta go more rapid fire with this. At Minnesota, it's a dub. It's a dub. I'm sorry, PJ Fleck. The row the boat thing has run its course. Okay, just has. Penn State at home for Michigan. This is a win for Michigan.
I've got a loss.
I know. I'm sure. I assume the rest of the schedule is a loss at this point. Here's why. Hot take, maybe? Question mark. Lump Penn State into the LSU camp. I do not believe in Penn State. I'm sorry. I don't. I see this as, listen, you couldn't hire a head coach for the longest time. I do not believe that all of a sudden Penn State has just flipped the script on whatever that was last year. And it was just the James Franklin thing and it snowballed and now we're good. I don't believe that. I just don't believe that. It's a win for Michigan. We can skip the Indiana game.
No. What do you have?
It's a loss.
It's a loss for sure.
Yeah. Second road game of the year, Halloween. This will be at Rutgers.
I know you're a little scared and you won't admit it on this, but I know in your heart of hearts.
It's just that the last time we did this.
The night game on Halloween.
The last time we did this was the COVID year. And thanks to your kicker for saving Jim Harbaugh's
entire life
and winning us a national championship 3 years later.
You're welcome.
It's a win.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. Listen, I like KJ Duff.
Look,
but it's KJ Duff and what else?
Antoine Raymond.
Sure.
He's a phenomenal running back.
That sounds like
the
a
question.
person.
If they had Callie McManus, I would have absolutely put a Rutgers win.
Those all sound like people who are real.
Hey, he's in the NFL.
That's great. What was the other guy?
Antoine Raymond?
Yeah.
Wow. Tell me you don't know ball without telling me you don't know ball.
Okay, I don't know ball when it comes to Rutgers
Who has produced back-to-back NFL running backs that have performed in the NFL, and Kyle Mononga and Isaiah Pacheco, who plays for your Detroit Lions now.
No one but you cares about this.
I care about him.
Michigan State, LOL, that's a win.
Yeah, that's a dub.
Michigan State, will they make it to 2 wins this year? Time will tell.
Ooh, honestly, that would have been the better run through their schedule and pick it.
Oh, we got time. We might do that.
For just fun
listen, at Oregon.
Yeah, that's a loss. You guys are getting boat raced.
That's a loss. UCLA, Nico Iamaleava obviously plays well in cold weather.
Yeah, that's a win.
That's a win. And then at Ohio State, we're not going to pick. So again, I've got, I think, 3 2 or 3 losses on this for Michigan? I think I had 2. You had like 5.
Yeah, I think, right now they're at 6 and 5.
I mean, the reality is that both Michigan and Ohio State feel like 9 and 3 teams again this year. This is what I said last year too. They both feel like they're probably about 9 and 3 teams. It's just which 3, right? Mm-hmm. Which, if you are both 9 and 3, which 3? Because that means that there's a good chance that the winner of that game, I mean, that may be your playoff spot. That may be your Big Ten spot.
I know I'm being a Ohio State fan right now that people just absolutely hate.
Correct.
I just can't picture a world where Ohio State has 3 losses on the year.
Someone in the production studio mark that, and we're going to run that puppy back.
This is where my spoiled Ohio State fandom shows, because 9 and 3 this season, even looking at the gauntlet they have, it feels like an absolute failure to me.
Well, correct.
An absolute failure.
That's great. I am going to give you in 27 seconds Michigan State's schedule real quick.
Okay.
Toledo.
Low win, loss.
Yep, agree. Eastern Michigan. It's probably a win. At Notre Dame, that's a loss.
Oh, yeah, loss.
Nebraska, loss. Wisconsin, loss. Illinois,
loss.
Northwestern, probably a win. At UCLA, loss. Michigan, loss. Washington, loss. Oregon, loss. At Rutgers,
loss.
And then they put Big Ten Championship on there, LOL.
Did they spell it right, or is that even wrong?
I was legitimately looking to see.
Yeah, because you had to check.
This is going to be a great college football season. Why? Because it's a college football season. As a reminder, this is week 0. There are games. North Carolina, Bill Belichick gets to travel all the way to Ireland to play TCU in a game nobody asked for.
Oh, I'm watching every single second of it. I
didn't say that. I just said this is a game nobody asked for. These are the Ireland game is always someone with MGO blog. It might have been Brian Cook. Shout out MGO blog. Said that every year there's a game that looks like a prime time, like a prime blue blood giant clash matchup early in the season, usually week 1. And every year there's one of those games that at the end of the day, you look back and go, those were just 2 mediocre football teams. By the way, last year was LSU Clemson. This year it's LSU Clemson.
Can't wait.
Please subscribe to the Rivalry Podcast. The Rivalry Podcast is part of the Varsity Network from Learfield and the River Podcast Network from River Radio Ministries.
New episodes out every Monday.
Be sure to subscribe, rate, and review wherever you're listening right now, and follow on social media at RivalPod and RivalPod.com.
And if you like what you hear, share with a friend so they can listen too.